Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited to introduce today's guest, Gila Kurtz. She is the #1 international best-selling author and serial entrepreneur who found her deepest passion in working with dogs and their people. Following a career in education, she built a successful dog training business and then co-founded the award-winning, highly recognizable lifestyle brand for dog lovers, Dog is Good. Along with her husband, John, Gila took the Dog is Good brand from startup to a multi-million-dollar company. She's a recipient of several business awards, including recognition as one of the top 25 women of influence in the pet industry, Woman of the Year by the Women in the Pet Industry Network, and she was featured in Success Magazine, Forbes Magazine, and on the Grow Wire show. She's also the author of Fur-Covered Wisdom, A Dog Can Change the Way You See the World, and her dog-centric approach to life, leadership, and relationships is authentic and immediately relatable. She utilizes her skills as a canine expert and compelling teacher to engage audiences in magnificent mastery, and she inspires individuals to fetch a life worth barking about. So welcome, Gila.
Thank you, Tammy.
I love that.
Magnificent mastery. I mean, we all want to lead a magnificent life, right?
Yeah.
Magnificent to those who don't care for dogs, but magnificent to those who do.
and that is interesting because it is, you know, I've had dogs and cats and bunny rabbits and horses, but dogs really do bring something special. They're different than a cat in their devotion and their love. And they do have, like you say, a fur-covered wisdom. And you really have brought a lot of your expertise into the, I guess you call it the Dog is Good human connection. And you do a lot with leadership. And I think that in the world today, you really can learn a lot from your dog. And so I'd like to know a little bit more about the Dog is Good story and how you got involved with that. And then of course, where you are today and how it's morphing into something so much bigger than probably what you ever thought it could be.
Yes, thank you so much. And you're right. It's so interesting when you start something along the way where you make those little pivots, how things begin to open up in other areas. But and you're absolutely right as well. The essence of dog, it has such a unique impact on people. And for those of your listeners who have dogs, they know exactly what I'm talking about. I just want you to close your eyes for a second and just imagine walking through your front door, those first 2 minutes home when those dogs come running, and how your whole being begins to shift and change as a result of that. There is a reason, I believe, why dogs play this kind of role in our lives today more than ever before. And I think it has to do with the fact that during a time when we are so connected to each other via technology, it is also a period in time when we have become more disconnected on a more human level than ever before. And the dog brings to us and fulfills that need for connection, for true presence, connection, and an element of a relationship that is very present. And so for that, I think that is one of the reasons why our company has grown the way it has. And so I'm excited to share that with you. Very briefly, we have been in business for 12 years now. We're going into 12th years. And the company really was born out of my love and passion for dogs, but more importantly, how dogs were impacting their people. I am a professional dog trainer. I continue to train dogs with a focus and emphasis on puppy training. I continue to do that because it is my first love. But it was really obvious to see that dogs were having just a really powerful impact in the people that I was working with, in the lives of those people. And so we decided to create something that celebrated that bond, that celebrated that connection. And as our company grew, really the success of it is bound not so much in the products that we sell, which are gift items and apparel products, accessory products for the human at the other end of the leash. It's not so much about the product. The success of the brand is found in the messaging and how it speaks to who that person is as a dog lover. So customers see themselves in the product itself, and that just becomes the tangible by which the message is delivered. And so for the past 12 years, we have been growing the brand with an emphasis on selling into retail stores around the country. We also have our own online e-commerce. And then we license the brand as well to other manufacturers who use our designs for their products. Now, and we have some pretty amazing licensees coming about in 2020. The one I'm most excited about is Skechers brand shoes. So in 2020, you're going to be able to wear the Dog is Good designs on your Bob's style of shoes by Skechers. So that's pretty exciting. But and then the other thing that we've created, which it's probably one of the more exciting things for me as an entrepreneur, is an opportunity for other dog lovers to utilize our brand and create a business of their own through a pop-up shop program we created. So for the past 2 years, we've been helping other dog lovers create a retail operation without the brick and mortar headaches using our brand. And that's been really fun to give them a chance to do something around their passions, make money, have fun, and give back to the causes that are important to them.
Wow. You know, I travel a lot across the country, and I think I have seen a pop-up store somewhere, because I've seen the Dog is Good in my adventures. And I actually met you, I think it was in Las Vegas at an Allison Maslin event a couple years ago. Either that or it was in Rancho Bernardo. I don't remember. But I remember, and I think later I saw it, and you know how you see things, but you don't quite connect until you just said that. But it's really interesting because beyond the Dog is Good brand and the business, you also focus a lot on leadership and helping people to become leaders. Because being an entrepreneur, of course, is, what can we say about it? It has a lot of ups and downs. So when you work with people in that leadership arena, what is the most important thing that you focus on?
Well, I think leadership has a number of definitions, and I believe it starts first and foremost with oneself. One cannot lead a pack if they can't first lead themselves, and identifying within themselves what are the areas of strength and where are the areas where there needs to be some additional work to be done. In taking my cues from dogs, which I pretty much live my life this way, always through seeking the anecdotal lesson provided to me each and every day by not only my dog, but the other dogs that I get to encounter. I'm always seeking that lesson. And, you know, one of the things that's important is to notice how curious dogs can be, particularly a puppy. They are constantly curious. And I think as a leader or somebody who's striving to improve on their leadership skills or to lead an existing team, they need to stay curious about themselves, asking questions and seeking other ways in which to improve how they're leading their team or leading themselves. So that's, you know, first and foremost is first look in the mirror. That's where the leadership starts, with oneself. And then what questions do you need to ask in order to facilitate the right leadership style? I like to look at it as being a benevolent leader. This is how I train dogs, is you show up with the right expectations, you provide the right guidelines, and then you empower and provide the right resources to lift that team up. And you lead the way in yourself, showing up as your best self so that others buy into and get excited about the vision that you have and want to continue along that journey with you.
So one of the things is with being a leader, and especially if you want to make a big difference and help someone, transform their lives, how important, and again, it's interesting because if you think about it from a dog's perspective and from a dog trainer's perspective, because I've watched some of those TV shows where they, they'll reward the dog if they do whatever it is that they're supposed to do. But how does discipline and creating habits work into becoming a good transformational leader?
Right. Well, again, if I were to extrapolate from my work as a trainer and also what we do here at Dog is Good with our team, the most important thing is establishing what the right boundaries are, if you will. What are the parameters in which you want your team to work? And using management, meaning can you set them up for success? So if you think about it with dog training, if you're thinking about a puppy and you use a crate or gates in certain rooms to prevent your pup from making the wrong choice, from going to the bathroom in your home, et cetera, you're always helping to prevent them from practicing what you don't want them to do while you are providing them with opportunity to make the right choice. And then, yes, providing reinforcement and to make sure that those behaviors continue again and again. Now, what's interesting is people, just like dogs, all determine what their reinforcers are. While some people love praise and attention, etc., others may find it rewarding just to receive a note. Others may find it motivating to receive a bonus, money, those kinds of things. So knowing your team and knowing what reinforces their general behavior while you're setting them up for success by putting all the right tools in place for them to be successful. That is part of it.
So it's interesting. Again, I'm reading some of the notes that you provided me, and I just love all of the dog references, and it's interesting how that works. And one of them that's motivational in nature is you talk about always leave your mark. And of course, I love that double entendre of how a dog marks their territory. So tell me a little bit about how do you leave your mark as a leader so that you can always be that relevant, unforgettable person, because there's so much noise, back to the dog reference. It's like if you go to the Humane Society and all the dogs are, roar, 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 it's really hard to go and which dog is going to be the best choice, and the same thing with humans, especially with social media and just all of the different choices we have in the marketplace. What is some of your advice for being seen as relevant so you leave your mark?
Yeah, I love the analogy you just mentioned in shelters where the dogs are barking, see me, pick me, come over here. And then there's always that one that's kind of quiet, just the observer. And it's interesting how you see people get drawn to that. I think in leadership, one of the most important things is to be a phenomenal listener and also be a phenomenal observer of what's going on in the environment. When you talk less, when you are not barking direction constantly, that will help you stand out for sure as a memorable leader. And I think if you set that intention as well, so I know we do here, both myself and my husband, John, also my business partner, our intent has always been for any individual that has ever worked for our company that when they leave, should they find other things, we have positions that are not career path positions, so that when they leave, that they have left our building better as a person and as a professional than they entered the building. And oftentimes we strive for this even on a daily or weekly basis too. It's what we do. It's understanding that these are individuals who are participating in the realization of our vision, right? And so through that, we want them to be an active participant in that process. And that only happens when you are not barking everything, when you are listening, when you are observing what's working well, when you are evaluating, and when you're giving them a chance to grow as individuals, both personally and professionally.
So that's dog
I
is
think that's
good.
what makes you memorable.
Yes. And again, the dog is good. It like I said, it's such a great brand and the meaning, subconsciously you pick up the goodness out of it, and of course dogs are representative of that unconditional love. So just from a branding point of view, it's really a great brand because it has that meaning that people can resonate with all the time. Your book, Fur Covered Wisdom, A Dog Can Change the Way You See the World. What is that book all about?
Thank you for asking that. So the book came about because of where I was at in my life at that particular time. When we started the Dog is Good brand, while we believed it was going to be successful, what we didn't anticipate was the rapid growth that would happen right out of the gate. And very quickly, without being intentional about what I wanted success to look like, my life truly spiraled out of control. And I literally woke up one day just in a very dark spot. We'll just say that. And from the outside, while everything appeared perfect and amazing and everything that one would want, on the inside, it truly was quietly dying. And at the time, I was raising a yellow Labrador retriever to become a future leader dog for the blind. And she would wake up in a very unique way every single morning. All dogs are pretty happy when they wake up, but this dog was unusually exuberant. And I remember sitting on the edge of my bed thinking, if I could only wake up like her every day, I would work so hard to seek whatever she had to teach me and string one day after the other to put more together to begin to make some of the shifts that needed to happen in my life. And so it was a year of doing that. And I decided to actually catalog what was going on and how those shifts were happening and how it literally did save my life. So that's what the book is about. It's truly a journey of self-discovery through the eyes of dog and seeking those anecdotal lessons to take them into life on a daily basis in order to live more simply and work more efficiently and just learn to play and live life again as the way we're intended, God had intended us to do.
So you actually were raising a yellow lab to become a guide dog, and she would wake up like happy, and you observed her and came up and wrote a book about what you learned from the way this dog was seeing the world as a good, positive, abundant place. And
completely. And I had to change my perspective. I think so many people get to this place, whether it's on an extreme level or on a very average level, where they're faced with the realization that they may not be experiencing life as they had hoped. And they almost feel stuck and don't really know where to go. And my thought process was, let's be methodical about this. And more importantly, let's have the discipline to see it through. Because I think that's the one piece that's really critical in anything, in becoming a leader, in success, in relationships, in success in our physical and mental health, and our success in business or a career, is having clarity around what we want and being disciplined enough to follow the steps to get there. And it was through those lessons that the dog was teaching me and continues to. I mean, at this point, I must have almost 300 lessons that I've gleaned from my yellow lab, who did not make it all the way through her training. So she came back to me and is now my dog. But no mistakes there. She was here for a reason. So that, that piece needs to be there, the discipline to implement the lessons that we are learning.
Well, my cat's been listening to you talk and was making sure that we knew that he was here. So that was what the rustling paper was, because my cat decided to say, hey, she's talking about dogs. That is really cool.
Well, hey, there's a lesson there. Sorry to interrupt, but there's a lesson there too, right? From the cat, that don't just stand in the background. If you have something to say, you need to stand up to be heard. Your message is important.
Yes. Well, it is interesting because I love the fur-covered wisdom concept, because it's not just dogs that we learn from. I mean, like I said, I have dogs, I have cats, and of course you learn something different, because cats do provide a lot of love and a lot of information about, I think, what the difference between what a cat brings to the table and a dog. A cat will teach you about establishing boundaries, and a dog they love you so much, and they are like you said, when you come home, that dog is so glad to see you, and you would think that you'd been gone forever. And a cat does the same thing, but they're just a little more subdued about it. But they both provide such great love and companionship. And humans, I think, really need the love of a good dog, dog is good, or the love of a cat, or whatever, just that additional companionship that you need. So if people want to learn more about Dog is Good, or about your speaking and your books, how can they find out more about you?
Yes, they can go to dogisgood.com. That is our website, and you can see on the website all the different products. It's also a place where you could sign up for Fur Covered Wisdom, or just go to furcoveredwisdom.com. This is a note of inspiration, a weekly dose of fur-covered wisdom that comes to you in your inbox from your very own dog. It is written in their voice and it is signed in their name, so it's very personalized. But it's interesting because the message delivered is always something that you need to hear at that time. So it's a great way to keep that present for the week ahead and use that as your guiding intention for the week. And people can certainly reach out to me individually as well. My email is Gila, which is spelled Gila, at dogisgood.com. And yes, I am available for conversations around this topic, which I refer to as a dog-centric approach to fetching everything you want in business and in life. And so I'm available to talk on podcasts, other radio shows, speak at your events. I'm happy to do that.
Well, I just wanted to point out the personalized message from your dog is a really out of the box thinking, creative marketing thing that a lot of our listeners are business people and entrepreneurs who are always looking for that one golden nugget. And of course, we've shared, many golden nuggets along the way because of the perspective. It's a very creative way of looking at something. But I love the fact that you're honoring that dog-human connection, and many, many people, I think, can really relate if they were getting an email of that fur-covered wisdom signed from their dog, that they could really resonate with that at a much deeper level than it just coming from you. because of that fact. And so I think that's a really creative way to help motivate people. So that certainly, dog is good.
Thank you. And also from that marketing perspective, in the subject line, it says a message from, and then whatever the dog's name is. So a message from Henry. And when that person sees that, they don't want to delete it. So.
Right. I wouldn't. I would keep it and I would say, hey, look at this. My dog sent me a message. I mean, it really is creative and inspirational. And I also love how you've taken the whole, the dog-centric idea, and you're really attracting dog lovers and people beyond that. But because you took the time to create that avatar or that niche for yourself, it makes Dog is Good just a very attractive brand. And of course, dogs, I mean, in the United States and around the world, people love dogs. And it doesn't matter what type of dog it is. It just seems like we are a dog-loving people. People love dogs and dogs love people. It's a great match. So again, Gila, thank you so much for sharing, and I'll invite you back another time and we can dig deeper into more of your inspirational and motivational topics.
Well, thank you, Tammy, for allowing me this opportunity to spend time with you. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Everyone, Dog is Good. This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.